My name is Abisola Olusoya, Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Systems, Lagos State. The objective behind the rebranding, renaming, rechristening of the ministry from the Ministry of Agriculture to the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Systems, I think it's actually an evolution. I recollect years back, this ministry used to be known as Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives. From there, cooperatives was taken out of the way for it to just become the Ministry of Agriculture. But in the last couple of years, it is evident that agriculture is not just a small boxed-in sector, and I think that's the perception a lot of people have about it. Agriculture is actually end-to-end. There's an entire ecosystem that works to ensure that we have food on our table, we have food in our kitchens, we have food on our plate, and as such, taking out those actors, it doesn't benefit anyone, and at the end of the day also, it more or less keeps the actors in silos. And when people don't understand how interconnected they are, then we continue to have the kind of problems we have. When you say food systems is all encompassing. It means from the research institutes to the seedling providers to those working in the labs, genetic lab scientists and what have you, to the person providing irrigation equipment, to the manufacturer of those irrigation equipment, to the farmer himself or herself, to the logistics provider, to the person making the bags or the packaging, to the person in charge or owning warehouses and storage facilities, cold storage, dry storage, whatever it is that you want to name it, to the processor, to the marketer, to the distributor. Every one of us is a part of that ecosystem, or all of these people I've mentioned, they're part of that ecosystem. So it's a food systems. So agriculture is not just domiciled with the farmer who produces and then that's the end result. So all of the interventions of government in the past, it's usually tailored, maybe I'll say 70-80% to producers, leaving processors and marketers largely out of the loop, or just giving them a measly 20%. So when you say food systems, it's all encompassing, and then different legs of the system also get to have their day. There's a department that was newly created, one out of 3 new departments in the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Systems, and that is the Department of Agricultural Produce Quality Assurance. I don't know if I'm even saying it well because it's a mouthful, but this department is actually in charge of ensuring quality assurance for agricultural produce. We see what is happening in the last decade or so. You see malpractices around food. So it's one thing for the farmer to grow food, to raise livestock, to rear or to grow fish and what have you. But then when you have people utilizing elements or utilizing or just not using global best practices, and you see also that there's a rise in a massive increase in the kind of diseases, and then also when you talk about resistance to even to drugs or to treatment, then it is worrisome. We say that food is actually the medicine for the body, but as it is now, it looks like people are engaging in practices that is actually making food poison to the body. We have a responsibility here that as much as we are enablers of those who grow food, we should also take responsibility to ensure that people do it under the right conditions, and then every other actor in the chain also falls in line with that. So that led to the creation of what we call the Lagos State Food Systems Marshals. These are officers from different departments in the ministry, from the Veterinary Services Department, Agri Services, from LSADA, that is the Lagos State Agricultural Development Authority extension officers, to forestry and what have you, fisheries department, livestock department. And the idea around it is that these are experts who understand and who are knowledgeable about how those foods should be grown, how they should be preserved, how they should be stored, how they should be transported up until you get it into your homes. And so the several other actors that will be managing or in charge of these food items should actually be sensitized, should be taught how these foods should actually be preserved and what have you, even up until market. So that led to the creation of the food systems marshals, and the idea around it is to ensure your safety, my safety, and therefore the safety of the future generation.